ओमज्ञानविरामस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलम् श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणानन्दनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं प्रतिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा श्रीशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिये। मञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। शुभदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय उत्तरे श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारणे विशेष हरे कृष्ण। So happy New Year. So what better way to begin the new year by other than by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the true nourishment for the soul, and he who regularly relishes the Srimad Bhagavatam always carries the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, in his heart. Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Today is Pratima Ji's birthday. So she's setting a very good example. She's celebrating her birthday with us. So wishing you a very happy birthday, Mataji. We have some special cake also for all of you on your behalf. And we will accept your bananas after the Lord has eaten. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So that is the way to celebrate the birthday, by serving all wonderful devotees. Okay, thank you very much. So we are at a very interesting juncture in our journey of the Bhagavad. the first canto of the Bhagavad, a quick recap. The first canto of the Bhagavad is more or less like an introduction. In the very initial part, the first couple of chapters, the Bhagavatam focuses on what the Bhagavatam speaks about and the position of the Srimad Bhagavat amongst all the scriptures. It establishes that the Srimad Bhagavat doesn't dilute the topmost message of spirituality and gives it as it is for the supreme pleasure of the real devotees, the Nirmatsarana. The real devotees of the Lord are described as Nirmatsar. What does Nirmatsar mean? Those who are not envious. Matsar means envy. Nir means without. Why this word Nirmatsara is especially mentioned is if you really want to enjoy the sweetness of bhakti and devotion to the Lord, then being Nirmatsar is an essential prerequisite. Don't mix it. If you mix Matsarta, envy is the root of all other negative qualities. We will not go to the analysis, otherwise our whole class will become on that topic. But one day, God willing, inshallah, we will discuss about Matsar. So that is the original sin. The reason why we are here away from the Lord is not because the Lord has pushed us away, but we have distanced ourselves away from the Lord because of our envy. Envy of whom? Of course, right now it is expressed in this world as envy towards each other, but ultimately it is envy of the Lord. And that is why we are failing to approach the Lord. Because we also want to become, why God is like that, why I am not like that. Once, one very famous pop star, you have heard his name, Michael Jackson? Now I can talk about him even though it's recorded. This is a true story. Once he came to one ISKCON temple. How many of you know this story? Very good. So this shows how deeply rooted this quality is in the material world. No matter how high you are, in a material sense. Came to an ISKCON temple, he saw a very beautiful picture, very big painting. I think was it in Los Angeles? I do not know, but I remember one of the very prominent temples. Very beautiful temple. In that beautiful temple, a very beautiful picture of Radha and Krishna. Actually, I know what that picture is, but maybe if I get time later, I will show you. It's a very beautiful picture. I used to keep it also in my own home for a long time. Where Krishna is sitting like this, and Radharani is sitting next to him. Very beautiful. Krishna is looking very attractive, beautiful young boy, and here is a very beautiful young girl, very playfully sitting, a very blissful divine environment. He was looking at the picture for a long time, and the devotees thought, oh, he is so absorbed in devotion of Radha and Krishna, so they were very impressed. So after some time he turned to the devotees and he said, can you do one thing for me? I said, what is it? He said, I want this painting exactly like this, but can you just do one small change? Instead of the face of this blue boy, you put my face there. Anyway, this is a true story, I'm not making this up. True story. So what does this mean? The living entity cannot tolerate that the Lord is the most beautiful and the most powerful and the supreme enjoyer of everything that is. Bhuktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Why that envy is there? Why not me? So when people hear about Ras Leela, why they become so angry? God can dance with so many girls. When I dance, it's a problem. but they fail to understand that the Lord is the owner, proprietor and controller of everything. Everything comes from Him. God never enjoys anything outside of Him. Everything that He enjoys is part of Him. Because He is the absolute truth. So this envy is what actually is stopping us from understanding and developing a relationship with the Lord. So Bhagavatam says, Nirmatsaranam Satam. This is the topmost scripture which is not mixed with anything else. It is giving you the real essence as it is. Those who are expert in drinking, you like to drink? You don't have to answer. So I have never been into drinking, but some people say those who are in the advanced stages of drinking, they don't like to mix anything, they like to drink it neat. Understand neat? How many of you know what is the meaning of drinking it neat? You also know. I also know, no problem. I have not done it, it's okay to know, it's fine. You also know what happens in the world. Okay? Or on the rocks. You know what is on the rocks? Neither of us have done it, but we know also. So, some people, when they take, for example, whiskey, they cannot take it too strong. So what they do? They mix some soda, they put some lime, right? I don't know what else. Of course, ice is there, but along with ice, they'll put some other things just to make it a bit more mild. Because it's too strong. But those who really relish that intoxication, they want it neat. Neat means don't mix with anything else. Just pure. Give me the substance. Of course, this is a wrong example. Wrong in the sense, the example is correct, but it is for the wrong thing. But those who are real relishers of rasa, what rasa? The rasa of love of God. Because when we approach the Lord, we spoil the pleasure we derive out of the relationship as soon as we mix it with material desire, bhukti, mukti, siddhi, kami. As soon as we approach the Lord for material benedictions or freedom from our troubles or to achieve any perfections, we spoil it. So Bhagavatam says, don't spoil it. The real pleasure is not about what God can give you. The real pleasure is in the relationship with God Himself. So take it neat. So Bhagavatam is saying, I am keeping all other additives aside. I am presenting this topmost message as it is. And that is why in the beginning of Bhagavatam itself, the history of why the Bhagavad was written is given. And the history itself very clearly, and we covered this in the last time, I am just giving a recap. In the introduction itself, very clearly, Vyasadeva, who has already written all the scriptures, everything, he is still thinking, I am still feeling incomplete, I am still feeling incomplete. Means he is still not getting the neat taste. And he's thinking, what is it? And he's already thinking, perhaps I think I know why it is. Because I have not focused on the real substance. I've given so many religious principles, but I've just put Krishna here and there. I have not focused directly and exclusively on the real conclusion of all scriptures, which is the glorification of the name, form, qualities and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of God. Because that alone can give complete pleasure to the heart. Have you realized when you have a relationship with someone, as soon as your relationship has a motivation, you cannot actually enjoy it. Yes? See, our closest relationship, whether it be your parents, our spouse, our children, why are they more relishable than just with office colleagues and others? Because those relationships are not just transactional. I do this for you, you do this for me. Then the focus goes away from the relationship and goes on what the relationship can give you. It spoils the taste. So Krishna is so beautiful, so attractive. Why do you want? He himself is the embodiment of all perfection. He is the Ashraya Vigraha. He is the ultimate shelter giving personality. So why is there a need to just seek? Of course, He will provide nonetheless. We don't have to ask. It's not that if we don't ask the Lord for protection, the Lord will stop protecting us. Or if we don't ask Him to provide, He will not provide. Not like that. In fact, if we exclusively take shelter of Him without asking anything, He will give everything without asking. On top of that, He will give Himself. So that is the secret formula. It's not that when we don't ask God, then we lose. God is not giving because I did not ask Him. He is asking, He will get. Not like that. When you come to God with business, God knows very well. He has no interest in me. And He has come just to settle His problem. Once the problem is settled, He will also disappear. So of course the Lord may still help such living entities because they still come into the Lord. But they are not able to actually strike a relationship and actually derive the right experience from that connection because they are not approaching the Lord correctly. So the Bhagavatam is establishing this fact right in the beginning. Dharma projita kaitavatra paramo nirmat saranam satam vedyam vastavam vastu atra shubhadam tapatrayon mulanam Srimad bhagavatam mahamuni kurute kimba parairishwarehi rudhi avarudyate shushushuvi tatshana. Whoever listens to the Bhagavatam very attentively with faith, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes installed in their heart. So if you want to install, means you can carry the Lord in your heart. Krishna Himself, you carry Him in your heart. Of course, He is present as Paramatma everywhere, but Krishna personally, there is still a difference between Krishna and the Paramatma. Even though Paramatma is Krishna, He is only the manifestation, essentially, of His Chit potency. But Krishna is the manifestation, complete manifestation of Sat, Chit and Ananda. Only Satchidananda Vigraha. Lord becomes established in the heart. So as Vyasadeva is despondent like this and thinking, maybe I think I know the answer, immediately the transcendental spaceman and his guru, Narad Muni, arrives on the scene. Just like a Hindi movie. Right time, the right character enters. Narad Muni is like that because he is connected to the transcendental internet. He immediately gets messages. This person needs help, that person needs help. So he appears at the right place at the right time. Those who are pure devotees of the Lord, they are so intimately connected to the Lord that the Lord uses them as the instrument of His compassion. And He sends them to the right people at the right time. And many devotees, especially those who try to share this message of the Gita and the Bhagavad, many of them have had so many experiences. The Lord uses them at the right time to meet the right person. Because the Lord is the ultimate network. Yes, so He is conscious of everything and everyone. So He knows exactly what is happening where and He does what is necessary to help the living entity. So Narad Muni being inspired and knowing what is happening in the heart of Vyasadeva appears there. And he asks him, what is it? Why are you despondent? You have done all these things. And he says, yes, I am despondent. Please guide me. So even though Vyasadeva, being himself so exalted, he doesn't say, oh, I know everything. He takes a very humble position in front of his guru and he waits for his guru to confirm his understanding. And the guru confirms. Narad Muni says, yes, your shortcoming is you have not sufficiently described the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because that is the real neat substance which can actually give you full satisfaction to your heart. So, what can fully satisfy the soul? When the soul, without any ulterior motive, just sings the glories of the Lord. Sings, you don't have to necessarily be a good singer. Sings means the heart is singing. Understand? The heart is just appreciating the beautiful name, form, qualities of the Supreme Person. Then the heart becomes fully satisfied. Simple? Nothing else you have to do. Correct? We'll now ask your heart to sing. So the problem is not so easy for the heart to sing and be attracted to the beautiful qualities of the Lord. What is the problem? The Lord is so attractive. The problem is our heart is not attractive. So we may know the formula. Narad Muni has given the formula. But how to make the heart sing? Just like the scriptures give the example, I think it's mentioned in the Bhagavad elsewhere. The Lord is like a huge magnet. Magnets were there at that time also, in case you are thinking they were only recent inventions. Just like a magnet attracts the iron filings. You remember the physics experiment we did in school? Iron filings. You want to separate iron from other things, you put a magnet, all the iron filings are sucked and all the other sand and other substances are left behind. Just like iron filings are irresistibly attracted to the magnet, similarly the consciousness of the pure soul is irresistibly attracted towards the Supreme Lord. That is the very nature of the soul. It is not artificial. But why our heart is currently not attracted? The Bhagavatam says, when the iron becomes rusted, there's such a big coat of the ferric oxide layers, Fe2O3. Yes? And because of that rust, the attraction is not fully manifested. What is that rust? That rust is the material infection of envy. So once we remove that infection of envy, then again the soul in its natural state is very naturally attracted. The soul is in fact a part and parcel of the Lord, and its natural state is naturally attracted to Him. Very naturally, without any effort. So this natural attraction for the Lord becomes awakened, the Bhagavatam says, when we discuss the Srimad Bhagavat in the association of devotees. So slowly the iron, all the coverings will be removed and the heart automatically gets attracted. The verse that we sang at the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavat says precisely that. What did we say? What is that shloka? We said at the beginning of the Bhagavatam, Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of devotees, all that is impure within the heart is removed. And bhakti for the Lord becomes a very natural manifest nature of the soul. Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. It becomes very fixed. Right now it's like a, that light bulb sometimes flickering, then again goes out. Our devotion is like that. But that bhakti becomes steady. Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So at the very beginning of the Bhagavad, when Narad Muni comes into the scene and confirms to Vyasadeva that this is indeed your problem. You have not given the medicine as it is. Unless you give it as it is, it will not fully satisfy the soul. You have given pujas, you have given yogic meditation, you have given yajnas, you have given so many duties. And they are all in some way or form connected to the Lord and they will give some advancement. But they cannot give full satisfaction to the soul. I am not saying this. Narad Muni is telling this to Vyas so clearly. Naishkarmyam api achyuta bhava varjitam na shobhate. Verse 16 again. No, sorry, not 16. Anyway, in this chapter earlier. 12. Naishkarmyam api achyuta bhava varjitam na shobhate jnanam amalam niranjanam kuta puna shashwad abhadram ishvare nacharpitam karma yad api akaranam. Basically he is saying, even if you achieve the state of liberation, he is taking the highest state from material infection, but if you have still not developed devotion to the Lord, na shobhate, मजा नहीं आ रहा है. न शोभते में शोभा नहीं देता. You understand? हिंदी बोलते ना. It doesn't look good. What's the big deal? You achieve so much, but you not develop devotion. So you have not actually got the real thing. Na shobhate. And what then to speak if even liberation without devotion to the Lord is not so great? What to speak of these ordinary fruitive rituals and these ordinary fruitive activities? He's talking at that level. In one sense, it may seem like he's criticizing other things, but he is trying to say, just understand how high this is. This exclusive glorification of the Lord without material motivation is so beautiful. And he says, please focus on this. You have described so many other things in so many ways, but you have mixed it up and not focused exclusively. So now you give the substance as it is. Yes, some people will not be attracted who still have a lot of contamination, but the power of this pure Harikatha is so strong that if somebody becomes fortunate to hear this katha from the right source in the association of devotees, it can totally transform him, even in one episode. You understand? Even in one episode, if one becomes fortunate to get the association of those devotees who are devoted to glorifying the Lord without any material attraction, without any material motivation, they will still be having some material attraction, but it can very quickly ignite a similar devotion in our heart. It is so powerful. And to illustrate this point, Narad Muni gives the story of his own life of how he transformed from an ordinary, almost a sinful materialistic person, not sinful, sorry, I should not use the word, a materialistic person at one time to a divine representative of the Lord. And he explains his own story in the rest of the chapter to emphasize to Vyasadeva and to make all of us understand what is the power of the transformation when one comes in contact with the message of the Bhagavad in the association of devotees. That transformation, which may take hundreds of lifetimes through so many other processes of pujas, rituals, tapa, dan, karma, duties, may take hundreds of lives, can be achieved in one episode, 1 hour, being in the association of the right souls, hearing the right message with the right mentality. And this is not an exaggeration. This is the truth. And it has been seen repeatedly in the lives of many devotees. Very, very powerful. When the medicine is taken neat, prescription. Subscription is from the Lord, because He is distributing the medicine. The great devotees are distributing this to all of us, and when it is taken in the association of devotees, it is very, very powerful. And Narad Muni says that Vyasdev, this process of being attracted to the Lord, this Bhagavad Marg. Bhagavad Marg means the marg of Bhagavan, of glorifying Bhagavan, through the book Bhagavad and in the association of the devotee Bhagavad, is so powerful that even if one makes a little progress, it is so much better to even make a little bit progress and not do anything else than following all the other rituals and duties of this world but not follow this. You understand what he's trying to say? You do little bit bhakti according to the process of the Bhagavad, and you give it up for whatever reason, unfortunately, and you do all kinds of other activities and you neglect your duties. That is still better than doing all your duties perfectly but not taking shelter of this message. This is to indicate the power of this message, of what kind of transformational effect the message can have on our consciousness. It has such a transformational impact on the soul that the soul can never ever forget it. Once a person is attracted to the Lord, after having come in contact with the devotees of the Lord, that impression on the soul, because this impression is not just on the mind, the impression of coming in contact with this message of the Bhagavad through the proper devotees of the Lord is so powerful that it has an irreversible impact on the soul. Irreversible. Why irreversible? Because after that, even if a devotee says, okay, now I had enough of Krishna, I want to forget Krishna. Krishna, bye. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to make a lot of money, I want this. Oh, Krishna. But the impression is so strong. And the taste that he has had, because once one connects with the Lord's message, that experience, that taste is actually such a deep impression on the soul that one can never forget it. And continuously through all the activities in the material world, one will compare the experience of his divine connection with the Lord with all his material experiences. And no matter how super excellent that material experience may be in terms of success, achievement, glorification of this material world, he will always, when he compares, say, this is too shallow. This doesn't compare with that. This doesn't compare with that. I'm not saying this, the subsequent verses are saying. Whatever I'm telling you is the translation of the verses. You can refer to the verses if you doubt. This is exactly what it says.
They have gone into a secular kind of region where it's very difficult to they don't even feel in need of referring to scriptures, promoting and have a feeling of protecting others. And they don't even feel proud of it.
Oh, you're talking about general people.
And I feel
that is why the Bhagavad wants. The book is there. There are two kinds of Bhagavad. There is the book Bhagavad and there is the person Bhagavad. Both are devoted to Bhagavan. What does Bhagavad mean? About the Lord or connected to the Lord. The book connected to the Lord, Bhagavad, and the person, the devotee who is connected to the Lord. Why? The book contains the glories of the Lord, that's why the Lord is in the book. The devotee is always glorifying the Lord in his heart, so the Lord is in his heart. The devotee Bhagavad carries the Lord in his heart. Those who have an unalloyed love for the Lord, they carry the Lord in their heart and they have the power to give the Lord to us. Of course, we may not be on that level, but if we are connected to such devotees, and if we, by their blessings, become their representatives and take this message, in Kali Yuga, the holy name carries the Lord. The book Bhagavat carries the Lord. The devotees carry the Lord. So, because people are not deriving taste in this, the devotees go out to give the taste to them. Yes? And somehow they get connected. Some devotees, they just see a Harinam, not devotees, some ordinary, some normal passers by, they just see a Harinam, they see Jagannath's Rath, they just take some prasad. Somehow they get such a different experience. Somehow that experience always plays because I don't know why I felt so nice, but I just felt so wonderful. And nothing else seems to be comparing to that. Now you may feel not everybody feels like that, but that is because they didn't approach or connect like that. Some people get that experience. So that is why devotees go out of their way. Why Jagannath comes out? Because he wants to go and look for those who are not coming to him. There is an external reason, there is an internal reason. Of course, the most internal, deepest reason is he is going to Vrindavan. But the reason in terms of Patit Pavan, Jagannath is also Patit Pavan, he is the deliverer of the fallen. Those who are very fallen don't come to him. So what does he do? He comes to them. And he comes to them with big eyes because he is searching for them. Kahan hai? And he wants to glance on them with his mercy. When he glances on them with his mercy, then just when the Lord glances, the heart drowns in the grace of the Lord. So there is great fortune simply by seeing Lord Jagannath on the car or by pulling his cart, by taking some prasad. So these contacts with pure devotional service create very deep impressions in the soul. Very deep impressions. We may not understand, but the impression is so strong. The scriptures say, since we are on this point, the scriptures say, if somebody in his life has seen Lord Jagannath on the Rath or pulled the Rath Yatra, and he has, let's say, done nothing else spiritual in his life, and he connected in that whole episode to the Lord in a positive way, then at the time of death, you know what happens at the time of death? At the time of death, your whole life flashes in front of your eyes like a movie. In a few seconds, the whole life is played back. From birth, everything you will see. All the good things, all the mistakes, everything. The whole life is played back to a living entity. And a summary report is given at the time of death. Really. And he is given a glimpse. This is all your hisab and this is your destination. And then he leaves his body. But it is said in the scriptures that he who has seen Lord Jagannath on the Rath he is going through his life. When the frame comes, like in a movie, frame. The frame comes when he was seeing Jagannath on the Rath smiling and looking at Jagannath. When that frame comes, his heart becomes so irresistibly attracted that the movie stops at that frame. Just becomes absorbed in seeing Jagannath with his big eyes, and his consciousness becomes absorbed, and that, because it's such a deep impression in the soul, all other things seem unimportant and insignificant, because the soul deeply is hankering for that. Our mind and senses are hankering for these external things. You understand? Now we think this is exciting. That is very superficial. But what is exciting to the soul, at the time of death, the soul is realizing, at least for a short while, all this was illusion. Oh my God, I made all these mistakes, and then he gets attracted to that beautiful sea. Just to give you an example of how strong that impression is. Connection to your devotional service. So that is why Narad Muni says, even that little bit of contact is so amazing. That is better. So if a person takes to devotional service, even if he is not able to continue, that is so glorious, rather than doing all your duties perfectly, but not being connected to the Lord. Na shobhate. Even if you achieve liberation, nothing much was achieved. From the perspective of the Bhagavatam. Okay? And Narad Muni goes on to emphasize this point, to explain all what we discussed through the story of his own life. Actually, not the story of his own life, the story of his 3 lives. The story of his 3 lives. I think I'll tell you the story next time. Or should we continue longer? What do you think? Or we cover 1 life today and 2 lives next time? 3 also lives. Then, if you have rust on your iron filing, then you will not feel attracted. If your iron filing is pure, then you will say, Vayam tu na vitrupyam uttama shloka vikrame yat shravatam rasadnyanam swadu swadu pade pade. When the Srimad bhagavatam was spoken, Shukdev Goswami would ask the audience like this: should I go on or enough? My spiritual master is Holiness Radhanand Maharaj also, whenever he speaks Katha, after speaking for 2 hours, he says, should I stop or should I go on? Of course, even though some people feel that they want Maharaj to stop, still people will say, yes, continue. It's okay. Right now, when we are not enthusiastic, we act enthusiastic. It's okay. That also the Lord appreciates. At least we know our condition. But when the sages, when Sutta Goswami was speaking, the sages were telling, Vayam tu na vitrupyama, we are not satisfied yet. Uttama shloka vikrame, Uttam shlok, who's Uttam shlok? The Lord. His glories. Vayam tu na vitrupyama, abhi tak hua nahi hai. You are not fully satisfied. Yat shrvanavatam, by hearing that, rasad jnanam, those who have is subject by taste, those who like to drink it neat. Swadu swadu pade pade, every peg is so tasty. So don't stop, go on serving and we'll go on drinking. This is the real intoxication. Why I am giving this example is, this is the intoxication of the soul. The material drink is a stupefying intoxication of the material mind. Stupefying. What does stupefying means? It makes you stupid. Dumb and numb. This is the real intoxication, which actually makes our whole body, mind, soul invigorated by divine energy. Yes? Have you felt like that any time? When you feel that strong connection with the Lord, you will feel your soul overflowing, and that overflowing you will feel in all the cells of your body, and your hair will stand on end. Okay, so this is when we feel a strong connection. These are some of the symptoms which the scriptures describe. So we will cover 1 lifetime. I gave this class in India. When I was in India, I gave this class exactly on this topic. That's why I was not sure where we ended. So I just called Shani where we ended, because I told the whole story of the 5th chapter. Sham was there also. It's a very beautiful story. And Narad Muni especially mentions this story because when we hear these stories, the principles that are being spoken about, actually come to life. Because it is, in this episode, you see how effective this was. Sometimes we say, oh, this is very effective, but we don't understand how effective unless we get some example and life stories. So, Narad Muni, 2 lifetimes ago, was the son of a very powerful Gandharva named Chitrarath. You know about him? Anyway, we will not go into that episode. His name in that particular lifetime was Upabarhana. Upabarhana. This Upabarhana was born in the heavenly planets, son of a Gandharva, very good at singing. Gandharvas are by nature very good singers. He was good amongst the good. If somebody becomes very good singer on earth, in our Vedic culture he is compared with a Gandharva. Oh, you sing like a Gandharva. One very famous singer in Maharashtra was called Bal Gandharva. Sings like Gandharva. So amongst the Gandharvas are expert in singing. So whenever there is singing, like we have Kirtan Melas here, we call some good singers who sing the holy thing. So whenever in the heavenly planets you want some singing, Gandharvas are invited. You want dancing, Apsaras are invited. You want good musical instruments, Kinnaras are invited. Okay? When you want good audience, Devatas are invited. Audience. But those who are advanced Devatas, they are always interested in performing these divine arts for the glorification of the Lord. But Gandharvas are not only always glorifying the Lord, because they are not as advanced as the higher Devatas. Gandharvas are considered Upa-Devatas. Upa means not yet there, halfway. They can associate with the Devatas, but they are not fully on that platform. The Devatas are more advanced. What is the definition of Deva or Sura? Vishnu Bhakta Smruta Daiva. Those who are devotees of the Supreme Lord are called Sura. So they are actually devoted to the Lord. The Devatas actually are devoted to the Lord. They are not devotees. Of course, sometimes because they may not be fully pure, they may sometimes make mistakes. But generally, they are very devoted to the Lord. So, this Upabarhan was the Michael Jackson in the Gandharva planets. You know how a rock star lives, right, in this world here? He was a rock star, literally like that. And the Bhagavad especially mentions, just like a rock star today in this world, is always, whenever a rock star comes, so many young girls there screaming and fainting. You done like that? No, right? She's like Devi. She's Devi. She's higher. She's not Upadevata. She's Devi. She will not do like that. But those who are in the lower consciousness, they are like that. Yeah? Actually, it happens. I don't know. So he was like that, and he would love to be surrounded by girls. So he was, for all practical purposes, a playboy rock star. I am not using this word playboy. Prabhupada mentions this word. I am telling you, otherwise it's over. Prabhuji called Narad Muni. So, but note that at this point, he was not Narad Muni. This is 2 lifetimes ago story. Correct? Yes. If you go to my story few lifetimes ago, you find me in a bar, drunk, fallen on the street, then you can't blame me. Prabhuji, That is different. This is different. Okay, but there is a journey, and that journey is a journey of transformation, and that is why Narad Muni is telling this story. He was at the peak of material success, so to say. What does a young man want? Beauty, fame, wealth. He had it all. Following, had it all. Wherever he would go, everybody would come autograph. Upabarhanji autograph. So he was like that. So it so happened that one day the Devatas, especially all the Prajapatis, who are the senior Devatas, they all organized a satsang. And in that satsang, they decided, satsang means there must be kirtan and katha. So for kirtan, whom do you call? Gandharvas, to sing nicely. So the topmost Gandharva singer, Upabarhan, was given invitation. Kinnaras were there, the Apsaras were there, he came. And it was supposed to be a satsang for Harinam Sankirtan. So Upabarhanji came there, and instead of coming, when you come for a satsang, you come in a sober manner, dress nicely. Now I'm dramatizing this a little bit, so not all the details I give may be exactly, but I'm just trying to make you understand, that you understand the mood in which Upabarhan was. He came in the mood of a rock star. Understand? Surrounded by girls. He came there in that assembly. Flaunting. Imagine Michael Jackson walking in. You understand? Not in the spirit that you would go for a kirtan. And he came there, and everybody was expecting, now he will start. Hare Krishna. But there, he had come to sing, some had come to dance. Who had come to dance? Apsaras. And there happened to be Rambha. So Upabarhan saw Rambha. Rambha saw Upabarhan. And the eyes connected with the eyes. And he forgot the kirtan. He started singing some other songs. Upabarhan, instead of singing kirtan, he started singing, I don't know what he sang, that's not mentioned. It is said he started singing some glorification of the Devatas. I don't know whether he was glorifying Rambha or that is not mentioned. Correct? Like young boy sees a girl, then suddenly it goes into a song. एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा. So instead of going into kirtan, he started into material glorification. And then all the Prajapatis, the Devatas, everybody sitting there in that assembly. And suddenly, instead of singing kirtan, he is doing some glorification of the Devata / Devi / whatever he was singing. And they become, what is this Upabarhan up to? What is he shamelessly singing? What is this whole assembly for? And what is he doing? And he was cursed by Brahmaji in that assembly that you are behaving like a Shudra. You are behaving like a Shudra. Shudra means a low class person. A low class person means a person who has no sense of what to do in what situation. That is the meaning of low class. Doesn't mean by birth. A low class person has no discrimination of in what situation what should be done. He shows low class behavior in a situation which demands a high class behavior. So the situation demanded that he becomes sober and glorifies the Lord. But instead, he is here in a romantic mood, singing some songs, surrounded by girls. He made the whole thing cheap. So they became very upset and they cursed him. You will lose your position here as a Gandharva and you will immediately fall down and become a Shudra, an insignificant, low class person in the Golok. So that was the curse he received. So that was the end of his first life. Okay, so this is episode 1. So now we will end episode 1. We will continue episode 2 and 3 in the next story. So this is his journey from this point to becoming such a great soul, the Guru of Vyas, the Guru of Valmiki, the Guru of Dhruva, the Guru of Prahlad, from this position. Why? Because he came in contact with the Bhagavad. Okay. How he transformed through a small association with the great devotees. And that is why he is giving this story, so we also understand how powerful is this transformation. And that is the real transformation we are looking for. We are not looking for a transformation that we will get some material powers, we can do some magical feats. When Prabhupada would be asked, can you show some magical powers, some siddhis, because people are attracted to some siddhis. Pure devotees may have siddhis, but they are not interested because they are just some material manipulations. So Prabhupada said, my real magic is all these people. They were hippies. Now they have become happies. Hippies have become happies. Happies means happy people. They were low class, Shudra behavior, all kinds of bad habits. But by coming in contact with the book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat, they have become transformed into such devotees. Not just that they are devotees by themselves, others by coming in contact with them are becoming devotees. See, that is the real test of a devotee. One is to make yourself devotee, but he who can by his contact others become devotee, that devotee is considered more advanced. Madhyama adhikari. Madhyam kanishta means he can barely keep himself devotee. Madhyam means not only he is formally practicing, but he is able to convince others to practice and become. So Prabhupada is saying they have come to the point that they are going to countries and establishing temples and making others devotees. It's not easy. It requires very special empowerment. Nobody can make another person a devotee unless he is empowered by the Lord directly. Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Tara Pravartanta. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, without being directly empowered by Krishna, nobody can give devotion to another living entity on behalf of the Lord. So that empowerment, so imagine the transformation. So that is the power and glory of the Srimad bhagavatam. Okay. So we will pause here and we will continue the narration. Any questions? Who? Why you want preview of next episode? You want preview of next episode? You keep some suspense. Narad is the third. Third means? No. Third episode means Narad Muni is his current form, which is Narad Muni, the third. Yes. So it's very interesting. So we will discuss. Second life is a lot of details, so the second life's details are mentioned.
So in the second life you can connect with the...
Yeah, something like that. The second life was his transformation. The second life was his transformation.
Despite of getting curse, despite of getting curse,
Yes.
in a way get blessed.
Yes. Because when great souls curse, they curse you so that you learn. When great souls curse, they don't curse out of hatred. You know why they curse you? To become Shudra? Huh? Why? Why will you learn by becoming Shudra? To become more purified. How do you become purified by becoming Shudra? I'm just asking questions.
Cursing by great souls.
No, curse made him Shudra. But how will he become purified just by becoming Shudra? Now my question is, it's important to understand what is the meaning of this curse. Was it a whimsical curse?
So Shudra is to serve people.
Yeah.
So
There was
service.
a cleaning of
Okay, so cleaning makes you purified. Your Kambali Bai is the most purified soul. Your maid is more purified than you.
He was at top, right? And when he was like, yes, everything. Bring him down.
Very good, yes. Yeah, so that is the real reason. So actually, he was already in the association. It was not that he did not know spiritual subject matter. You are amongst the Devatas, you are the Gandharvas, you are singing in Kirtan. Doesn't mean that you know. But still he failed. Why he failed? Because he became too proud. If you become proud, then rather than worshipping the Lord, you try to become the Lord, like our Michael Jackson. And the same mistake Upavarhan did, no? Instead of glorifying, see, when you go for Kirtan, and this sometimes we also see, because sometimes and Prabhu and the daughters will connect better. When we go for Kirtan, to do Kirtan, not because you have seen this, not that I am giving you as an example. When we go for Kirtan, the focus of the Kirtan is the Lord. We are singing so that everybody focuses on the Lord. But sometimes it happens, the Kirtan singer, he wants to be the center of the attention. And you see all materialistic singers, they are always the focus of the attention. In Kirtan, we are singing so that everybody becomes absorbed in the Lord. What Upavarhan was doing? He was becoming the focus of attention. He was looking at Ramba, all the girls are looking at him, he is singing. So the great souls are thinking, what is this going on? You are supposed to increase the absorption of the assembly in the Lord. You are making them absorbed in you. So, why this ego has come? Because of so many opulences. Okay, I bring you down. Punar Mushiko Bhava. There is another story of this. So that is why the Lord gives him. The Lord never forgets. The Lord gave him the opportunity to remember. And that is the story. Okay, so blessing comes. But we should be able to take the blessing nicely. That's why it is not that every misfortune is necessarily a punishment. Misfortunes may result in greater fortune. And that is the experience of many devotees. Yes, Prabhu.
He also says that the Lord he will from time to time put you to different tests. So in order to purify you.
Yes.
So sometimes like things happen to us. Of course, we cannot see from a material perspective. It will be. We will be very down in all these things. But sometimes we have to look at the other side. Maybe by putting you through this hardship or even he is trying to one he is trying to teach you a lesson, or the other one he is trying to give some
Thank you. So basically the Lord, there's a very beautiful verse in the Srimad bhagavatam, which is in the first canto itself, in the later chapters, prayers by Queen Kunti. I think it is 8th chapter or later, I don't remember. Prayers of Queen Kunti. Chapter 8, yeah, so correct chapter. In chapter 8, which is prayers of Queen Kunti, there's a very beautiful verse in first canto of Srimad bhagavatam, in which Queen Kunti tells the Lord a very beautiful prayer. And this summarizes, her prayer actually summarizes why the answer to your question. She says, Janma Aishwarya Shruta Shrivi Edamana Madhapuman Naiva Arhati Abhigatum Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. Very beautiful verse. You know what Queen Kunti is praying to the Lord? She's saying, O Lord, he who has become proud because of increase in beauty, opulence, high birth, Janma means high birth, Aishwarya, great opulence, Shruta, great learning, Shribi means with great wealth. Whoever has these four has a very strong tendency to become proud. Okay, born in a big family, very beautiful, very learned, has a lot of money. Upavaranva had all four. Obviously, when all four, your head cannot remain on the ground. What happens when you have that? Edamana Madha Puman. Madha means you become intoxicated by pride. Edamana Madha Puman. And what happens in that case? Naiva Arhati Abhidhatum. They are unable to call out your names with the right devotion. Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. O Lord, you who can be achieved only or approached only by those who are free from all these attractions. These attractions will distract one's consciousness and not allow him to call out to the Lord helplessly. So the Lord wanted to put Upabharan in that situation where he can actually do kirtan without all these distractions. And the Lord puts you in that situation by removing all these things, so you can call out to Him. Then when you call out loud like that, the actual mercy comes, and then you can actually get that realization. So that is the Lord's special mercy. So that was the journey that Upabharan went through. So devotees should have that faith that whatever the Lord is bringing in their lives is helping to bring us to the point that there are two things that we understand. Two things. Very important for serious students of the Bhagavad. Two things you have to understand. One, there is no shelter in anything material. All these other things cannot actually help you. Ultimately, that is going to come taking everything away. Anything can happen to you anytime. Understanding the dangerous situation that you are in this material world and not trying to find shelter in material things. One. And second thing is understanding that ultimately that full ashray and shelter is in the Lord. When you call out to the Lord helplessly. And that is what the Bhagavatam is about. You talk about Dhruva's story, you talk about Prahlad's story, you talk about Bhishma's story, you talk all these great souls, Bali Maharaj's story, all these great personalities ultimately came to that point, taking shelter of the Lord, fully having come to the conclusion, I am helpless. And Kunti is praying, I don't want to be proud. Previously there were so many problems. And because of those problems, we are remembering you. Now all the problems have gone away by your grace. Now we have won the battle. My children are the king. Yudhishthira is the king. This is after the Mahabharata. So my prayer to you, Krishna, is please don't stop the problems from coming. Let the problems keep coming. Vipada santu tat shashvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavata darshanam yat syat apunar bhava darshanam. Let the problems come, because when the problems will come, I will remember you. And if I remember you, I will achieve perfection. So let the problems come. So that is of course a very elevated consciousness. For us, our prayer is let the problem go. But the Lord knows how to manage us. So He will do whatever is good for us. So those who are devotees, try to take shelter of the Lord in all these difficult situations. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's quite challenging. Okay, any other question or comment? Okay, so we'll do Kirtan for a few minutes. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Ki